Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast in the haunted attraction, haunted entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we have returned once again for a very, very special episode.
Yeah.
Every year around this time, we kind of step away from the haunted attraction industry and talk about something Christmas and horror related that tickles our ivories a little bit. Just get in the mood of this season a little bit.
Right.
And besides, other than all the Krampus shows going, it's not like there's that much for us to talk about anyway.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of fun. It makes us smile and it makes us happy. And that's what we're doing this week. Now, before we get into a couple of housekeeping things, I first have to remind all the nice people that we are at hauntweekly.com or Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. If you have not followed us and liked us there, please do so. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at tinyurl.com/hauntweekly. And you can also find us at iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and anywhere else finer podcasts are distributed.
Yes.
So, that is out of the way. Now, before we begin, I want to do at least,
Right.
an announcement of sorts. It's kind of a retroactive announcement of something that's happened. Thursday of last week, I had not insignificant surgery.
Yeah.
I won't go into all the details, but basically there was a defect in my skull. I know, big shock, haha, that they had to go in and fix. It was not brain surgery, but brain adjacent. They had to work kind of next to and near it for this surgery. We didn't talk about it beforehand, and the reason was largely because we didn't anticipate it messing with our Haunt Weekly schedule, which it has not.
Right.
But also,
you're hearing us now.
Yeah, you're hearing us now, so if this goes up on Monday, then all went pretty smoothly. But because we're actually recording this after the surgery too, because we're smart people who pre-record things.
Yeah. Well, we had talked about it, but you're like, no, I'll be fine. So.
Well, it was also the deal of if I'm not well enough to record, I'm not going to be well enough to edit and do all the other stuff too.
Right.
So yeah, it didn't seem to make a lot of sense. We could have just done a quick mea culpa or something and posted on social media about what happened.
Yeah.
But also, I wasn't sure how public I was going to be about it in general, honestly.
Right.
And like, for example, even on my personal Facebook, I didn't talk about it until literally the day before I went in. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I did that was I had a realization that we've had people in our lives who've had medical issues and have just dropped off the face of the earth. And that's a scary thing to have happen.
Right.
To have something happen to people you care about. And I get the reasons, I get why they do it, I'm not mad or anything. It's just from our perspective, that was scary.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that to people I cared about.
Yeah.
So the best thing I could think of doing was, right before the surgery, get on there, explain what's going on, and be honest about it. And I've been keeping people up to date ever since there. And overall, things seem to have gone pretty well. Long story short, the surgery was a success. They were able to do things they said they were going to do. There were some potentially very scary side effects of it.
Right.
None of which have come to pass.
Yes.
I did not lose my hearing. I did not lose facial coordination. I did not lose my mind or have a hole poked in my brain or any of that stuff. None of that happened. Yeah. Some of that might have just been my fears, actually. They might not have been on the little form. They might be ones I added. Those didn't happen. I'm doing well, recovering smoothly, getting a little bit better, a little bit stronger each day. But this does mean two things. One is that if this episode is a little shorter, it's because we've been preoccupied doing other things.
Right.
And Crystal has been staying with me, and along with Ellie, have been doing a wonderful job taking care of me, keeping me in line, keeping me medically compliant, and keeping me sane, frankly, the important things. I don't think I would have gotten through this without them, and I'm deeply grateful for that. But yeah, it's preoccupied her time as well. We have not had all the time we usually put into doing show notes. And also, if I get a little tired and exhausted and don't sound quite like myself, it's me dealing with that. And also the fact that instead of this being the 2 beer podcast, which it traditionally is, it's now the half a Percocet podcast.
Yeah.
I'm on it, like I'm down to like the baby doses of the narcotics, I promise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not used to those, so who knows? This could be way more fun.
Right. Well, and the other thing is that you haven't tried to talk for a full hour straight since you've gotten out. And they did do some work where it messed with the muscles in your jaw. Yeah,
I spent about 48 hours there unable to eat anything larger than pudding.
Yes.
It wasn't that my jaw was wired shut, but like I said, they cut the muscles right near where they meet your ear.
Yeah.
And yeah, that hurts like a bitch when you try to talk or eat immediately afterward, I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. But I seem to have done well. Everything's healing nicely. I'm not ruining my speech that much. I'm not slurring my speech that much.
Yes.
I seem to be doing pretty well overall. So I'm happy to be here and happy to be recording and happy to be recovering smoothly.
Yes.
Knock on wood, let's just hope that train keeps it going.
Okay.
All right, that's out of the way.
Yay.
Enough time on that. I apologize for eating up 5 minutes with that.
Oh. Well, it's 5 minutes less that we have to talk about later.
Yeah, sure. Now it's less chance of a short episode. See,
exactly.
This is the thinking part here.
Uh-huh.
All right, first things first. It's conference reminders. It's an odd episode. Crystal's the oddball. Please do us the honors.
Okay. December 22nd.
Coming up.
Coming up soon. It's Lost Souls Christmas Bus Tour. And it's going to be awesome because we were there for their Halloween bus tour in October.
2 of the 4 of those.
Yes, and it was awesome. So, if you are in the area and haven't been on the bus tour, or even if you have, buy tickets and go. Yeah. It's going to be out of Berwyn, Illinois.
Berwyn!
Exactly. Touring Massacre Haunted Houses Christmas Massacre and Basement of the Dead's A Very Scary Christmas. An after party will be provided by Haunted House Chicago. The after party they provided in October was baller.
Yeah,
so
highly recommend the after party.
Yes. Free picture.
I'll bring the Percocet. No. I'm kidding. I will not do that.
For you. Free picture with Santa raffles. Bring your own beer. Brewster will be there and more. Brewster is an awesome character. Good guy behind it. Yeah. Tickets are just $75. That's lostsoulschicago.com.
And this is one of the reasons I love Japes, who put this together. Mm-hmm. Is he put out a post on Facebook like 2 weeks ago, something like that, saying, "What do you guys think about doing a Christmas tour? They could be something people are interested in."
Yeah.
And then we don't hear about anything about it much for this, like comments and some conversation. Don't hear much about it. And like 2 days later, I'm announcing the Lost Souls Christmas Bus Tour. Yeah. And that time he didn't even have the date or the venues he was going to. Yeah. And then it's like 2 days later, oh yeah, we got dates and venues. And it's like, oh man. Yeah. He's a really good businessman, but when he wants to do something, he
Well, this is the first year doing it, and I'm sure it will be,
it's gonna
better
be awesome.
Organized next year.
Oh, yeah.
Not that this year has been bad.
No, this year, it's just amazing that, he was able to pull this with so little notice.
Yeah.
I mean, considering I'm the monster that when we plan, like, the Atlanta trip, I'm there, like, a month in advance.
Yep.
Mapping crap out, doing routes, estimated times between things.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, and he's just like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
It pays to hire an expert, man. I'm just telling you.
No. And that is for better than VIP access, guys.
$75 for better than VIP access to 2 haunts. I'm pretty sure you can't get VIP access alone to those 2 haunts for that amount.
No.
And this includes, like I said, transportation, Brewster, raffles. You can bring your own beer on the bus. It's great. It's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. Do it. If you're in the Chicago area, do it. LostSoulsChicago.com. After that, January 25th through the 27th, right here in New Orleans, Louisiana, it's HauntCon / Halloween and Party Expo at the Ernest Memorial Convention Center. We'll be featuring us. I'm speaking, doing my copyright and trademark and haunting talk again. That'll be 9:30 a.m. Friday. You early birds can come see me.
Yep. All 2 of you.
The rest of you, just ask me questions later. We'll be arranging something else that we'll be doing closer in. Still nailing down got some ideas. We're nailing down some details. Maybe we'll be able to announce something soon. But in the meantime, hauntcon.com for more details about HauntCon.
Yes, and if you are going to that, be sure to reach out to us to let us know.
Yes.
We know a few of you already have. Thank you very much. We will be in contact.
Trying to get a head count.
Yes, because that determines what we're able to do.
And in this context, the head count is like the heads attached to bodies, not the ones you carry around that are severed.
Yes.
Those do not count to the head count for this purpose.
They don't have to have their own seat.
No.
Okay. So February 23rd and 24th, it is Haunt X, the Haunters DIY Expo in Pomona, California at the Fairplex. They will be touring Coffin Creek, lights on and off, and features a costume ball. And hauntex.com for more.
All right. After that, February 27th through March 2nd in Dallas, Texas, and Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's the Maze, M-A-I-Z-E, Corn Party. We'll be departing from the Westin Dallas-Fort Worth Airport Hotel. That is a mouthful every time I try to say it.
Yeah, I just gave up.
We'll be touring various mazes around the Dallas and Oklahoma City area, including Esterlin Farms, Main State Farms, and more. The Maze, THEMAIZE.com for more.
Okay, March 21st through the 24th, it's Trans World's Halloween and Attraction Show, which they're also throwing in a Christmas thing. It's going to be in St. Louis, Missouri at the America Center. No information on the bus tour. It features a party at City Museum on Thursday, a performance by the Vampire Circus on Friday, and a vampire ball on Saturday. If they throw in one more vampire thing, I think they've got a theme.
I think they also filled out a bingo card.
Exactly. You can find out more at thehaashow.com. That's HAA show.com. Yes.
All right, so we talked a lot about what we wanted to do for this year's Christmas special. I may do one more, depending on where the mood takes us next week. It's supposed to be a news week next week.
Yeah.
May not be. We may postpone that.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what news there is, and if we have something else that tickles our fancy, because 'tis the season to follow flights of fancy, I would argue.
It is, but we also have to save something for next year, because the first set of notes that started,
We'd already done.
I had to stop because we did them last year. So
we also need to work on our memories.
Yeah.
But anyways, this year actually started at a conversation that we were having at some point. We were talking about last time about how Krampus is our convenient Christmas villain.
Yes.
We talked about how Krampus has really gained traction in the United States, how he's a convenient villain character for the Christmas haunts and for the Christmas horror movies and anything horror related.
Right.
And we just kind of taken that football and run with it. But we were talking about it in private, and we realized something. Santa's not exactly a good guy.
No. Not at all.
No, the more we talked about it, the more we realized he really is pretty evil.
Yeah.
If we're going to presume we live in a world where Santa exists, as the legend states,
Yeah.
Santa would be a villain by almost any metric.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. And I think that the giving gifts is like sending notes to your victims.
Well, I mean, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as kind of a form of bribery.
Yeah.
Basically, he's trying to bribe his way into everyone's hearts and minds.
Right.
He's going to do all these evil things, but he leaves presents, so we forgive him.
Yeah.
Or the other is it's just a really expensive calling card for a criminal.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, but it's not expensive for him.
No.
See, that's part of the thing.
That's part of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's when we're getting into that, actually.
Yeah.
So we've decided to, well, mostly Crystal, because I've been in various states of consciousness.
Yeah.
Has compiled the case against Santa Claus.
Right.
Tell your kids what you want about Santa. Just remember, he's objectively an evil person.
Yeah.
And the case is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, it begins with that Santa, by any other name, is just a creep who watches kids year-round.
Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty straightforward.
I mean, okay, and think about it like this. Imagine, like, in the Marvel Universe or something, you gain a superpower where you could watch anybody, anywhere, anytime. Like, you're the Watcher from the Marvel Universe, actually.
Yeah.
But you have this power. how would you use that power to maximize good in the world?
That's a good question.
Would you use it to watch the people in power and make sure that they are
like doing good things and not trying to fuck over
engaging
everybody?
honestly and governing legitimately?
Right.
Or would you use it to watch all the kids on the earth and make sure they're not being naughty little brats?
Yes, and watch them every second of their life so that they have no privacy at all. You know, there's no privacy, there's no safe space where they can't make a mistake, because if they do, they're going to get punished.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think the best use of that power is watching the kids.
no. Well, and you think about it, grown-ups don't like our privacy, interfered with. There have been things passed that have encroached on privacy, and we always, are like, no, that's my information. You can't have it.
I get unnerved when I go to an Airbnb that has too many security cameras in it.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea that some fat bastard in the North Pole is going to be watching my every move, every minute of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deeply unsettling. And we're not even getting into the potential, horrible sexual connotations of this.
That's what the gifts are for.
Oh, God.
But no, we weren't getting into that.
We're not getting into that. It carries connotations, though, that Santa chose to do this.
Yeah.
And since we've just demonstrated it's objectively not the best way to spend that power,
right,
it's got to be something for him.
Right. It does. Because if you don't have to pay for something, then you are the product.
Yes.
Yeah, but it also teaches kids that they can't express negative emotions.
Well, and this goes back to Santa says you can't be naughty, you got to be nice. Yeah. But there's never a clear set definition of those two things.
Right. There's not. But in the song, Santa Claus is coming to town. Mm-hmm. So be good for goodness sake. And also don't pout and don't cry. Yeah. Because those are things that will get you on the naughty list.
Well, I mean, and even there, what's a pout, what's a cry? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How sad can I be before I get on the naughty list?
Yeah, how much crying am I allowed to do? If I skin my knee, is it acceptable to cry for 15 minutes?
Yes.
But the 16th minute's pushing it? Where's Santa throwing the flag on the play?
Yes. Yes, if I'm a depressed kid, do I have to pretend to be happy? And if I'm pretending to be happy, does he know that it's just pretending?
Yeah, and then you're lying.
Exactly. Then I'm lying. So then I'm trapped either way. I don't get good kid presents.
Yeah, it starts to get really messed up when you try to think about how to play by Santa's rules.
Yes. And then you've got the idea that parents are helping him by putting in the new Santa cams.
AKA Elves on the Shelf.
No.
Oh, God, no, that's right. There's actually Santa cams.
They are Santa cams. They're...
Oh, my God.
And people who tell that the kids that the little red flashing light on the smoke detectors is a Santa cam.
Oh, God.
So now they've made smoke detectors that are Santa cams.
I just want to say I like that one because that's a way to do the Santa cam without actually funding the stupid idea of Santa cams.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But you're right. There's an actual Santa cam product now, if I remember correctly. You're right.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is just teaching kids how to accept and tolerate living in a very totalitarian state.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. You have no privacy. You have to follow all the rules.
Yes. And my brain may be slipping a gear here, but yeah, this teaches you to, it's very Orwellian.
Yeah.
In that it's teaching the kids to follow this and just accept that this is their life and they have no choice in it. And that good behavior will be rewarded and bad behavior will be punished.
Right. Exactly. Which is pretty fucking messed up.
Yeah, it is.
There's going to be lots of fucks in this episode,
yeah,
by the way.
Probably. At least a fair amount.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, so right off the bat, we're talking about a Santa that basically is running what can be described as a little dictatorship from the North Pole.
Yeah.
Monitoring with magical powers, all the kids, because they're the ones that need the monitoring. And notice, he's not monitoring them to keep them out of traffic or keep them out of harm's way.
Oh, no.
Or keep them from being kidnapped or murdered or whatever.
No.
He's just monitoring their behavior.
Right.
Not the adults that might hurt them.
Right. And the other thing is that if you're being good in order to get future presents, then are you really being good?
I would argue no. That is not being good. That is just trying to make a trade.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, that's an already messed up place to start with.
Right.
Now the next item you have is the criminal nature of his enterprise, namely that the entire thing is built upon breaking and entering.
Yes, exactly.
Now I find this one a little specious, to be honest, because Santa theoretically is being welcomed into these people's homes.
Yeah. Supposedly. But that's why they lock their doors and windows and sometimes have a fire, right? So, and we are just talking about the traditional Santa. We're not talking about Futurama
Yes.
Santa, where he's actively trying to kill people.
Yes. Now, this is the traditional Santa. But but it's basically built upon gaining unauthorized access to people's homes. Now, why Santa didn't just learn lockpicking? I don't know. It seems like he'd be a little faster than going down the damn chimneys to me.
Yeah. Well, and if you don't have a chimney, he squeezes under the door or through a window or...
Well, my parents always told me that he just had keys to all the houses, which just made it worse.
Yeah, that's not better. Then how does that...
Now he has an illegal locksmith enterprise that we need to get into.
Maybe it's just one skeleton key that's magical and unlocks everything.
As a guy who was something of a pseudo-expert on locks,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
There is no such key. You can't even get the same quick set key to work in fit inside every quick set lock.
Yeah.
The closest thing I found to a skeleton key that works in every lock is a good tension wrench and a short hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the closest I've got to that.
No.
And a lot of skill once you get past that point.
No.
But yeah. Now, and it's a very unusual type of breaking and entering because he technically isn't stealing anything.
No.
But other than the offerings, which we're getting to in a minute.
Yeah.
And he's leaving presents. But here's a problem. What happens if some or all of those presents end up being quite unwanted?
That's interesting.
Would that be illegal dumping?
Possibly.
And if it happens to be a pet, and by the way, if you give a pet as a Christmas present, 9 times out of 10, you're just an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's completely apart from the Santa episode.
For any holiday.
For any holiday. If you give a pet as a present, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
A pet is not a present. A pet is something that you make a decision, you have conversations about. You don't give kids a puppy.
No.
But I don't care how much they ask for. That's not how you do it.
Well, you especially don't give them bunnies or chickens.
Oh, good God.
Because those are popular, you know.
Hey, a bunny should never be a pet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If there's any bunny people listening to the show, I have owned a bunny. They're nothing but bitey poop factories. There's nothing redeeming about a bunny as a pet. Chickens at least give you goddamn eggs.
If you take care of them long enough to do that.
And then they become really good chicken cutlets on the back. They're the pets with a snack inside.
Apparently you haven't had rabbit.
That's true. I have had rabbit. I also have no idea how to prepare a rabbit.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But anyways, if the pets are not wanted, then it's animal abandonment too.
Yeah.
You wind up in a whole slew of crap there pretty quickly.
Right.
So yeah, as long as every present is wanted, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
But still, if anything's unwanted, he's just illegal dumping. God help you if it's a living thing he leaves behind.
Yeah.
Just gets more and more morbid.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to our first point for a minute.
Okay. Sorry.
Because
We forgot some?
Well, no.
Okay.
Because even though he's spying on all the kids all the time, he still has to have mall Santas so that he can find out what they want.
Yeah, the relationship between the mall Santa and Santa has always confused me. Like, we were never big on mall Santas when I was growing up. I'm sure there's some photos of me as like a little one, like floating around or something. But I don't actively recall. I don't have like the Toy Story memory.
Yeah.
Where you go to see Santa and you beg for the BB gun and get kicked down the slide.
No.
I don't have like that memory.
Yeah.
I don't really remember seeing a mall Santa at all for me or for my younger brother.
Yeah. I remember seeing a few, and I remember the story of the first time they took me to see Santa.
Okay.
So it was in Natchitoches they have the Festival of Lights, which has a tunnel to Santa's shack. So they took me there when I was a baby, and the first thing I did was pulled off his beard and snapped him in the face with it. And then started crying because I was horrified.
You knew he was an evil bastard even then.
Exactly.
You knew it even then as a kid. You were just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never understood the relationship with the mall Santas. They're like, oh, it's Santa's helpers.
Yeah.
But then, as you just pointed out, if he's omniscient and can see what we're doing, then why on God's earth can't he just figure out what we want?
Yeah, it's not like we don't write it down, because you got to write it down and send it to him, too.
Yeah, you got to send him a letter.
So you got to send him a letter, you got to see a helper Santa in order to get gifts.
This is worse than the DMV, man. I'm just telling you straight. Usually I only have to wait in that line once. I don't have to also send a letter reaffirming whatever it was I'm doing with the DMV.
Exactly.
You know what? Maybe Santa's not evil, he's just incompetent on this one.
Yeah, maybe on this one.
Maybe this is a competency point.
Yeah.
Rather than an evil one. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, yeah, the only good that comes out of mall Santas is it gives some people extra jobs. Yeah, and some of those jobs can pay pretty good. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I know there are people who do the job of mall Santa, and that's pretty much all they do, and they make like $50,000 a year doing it.
Christ, I should become a mall Santa. I just heard that.
Well, yeah, but basically what you have to do is you have to take a regular mall Santa gig. You have to do other parties, other events. It's really a crazy season for them. They're really like working pretty much in like 45 days out of the 60-day season at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can make an entire year's salary in that time if you're naturally Santa Claus-esque.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have a small problem with that.
I might.
Your ho-ho-ho ain't going to be so convincing.
Yeah. Well, there's a push now, I read about after the notes were made up, to have some female Santa Clauses. Because, why should one old guy get all of the credit?
Yeah.
So...
I don't think there should be any Santa Clauses right now.
Well, yes. Well,
sitting on this list.
That's our position, and we're
more for women dictators. We're just not for dictators.
No, we're not.
Anyway, but yeah. So the mall Santa thing always gives, like you said, they're solely Santa's helpers. They're not the real Santa, but you go and you see them, you tell him what you want, and he passes it on, and then you got to send a letter too.
Yeah.
Got to get that shit notarized next.
I wouldn't doubt it if there was a notary system for Santa Online.
I just decided something. I'm opening up a notary practice, and I'm offering, and it's difficult to do in Louisiana, actually. It's kind of...
it is.
Louisiana's not like most states where becoming a notary is fairly trivial. You got to get bonded, and that's about it. Here, you've got to pass like a test and be able to actually do some fairly lawyery stuff.
Right.
But no, I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to become a fucking notary in Louisiana, so that way I can offer a service to notarize your letter to Santa.
Yeah.
I can play this game too.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason not to. That would, then the kid knows that, okay, we've got this down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this got a stamp on it and stuff.
Yeah, but, now they also have emails to Santa.
Yeah.
So.
Good point. But still, it's interesting. You're supposed to communicate with him like every way possible. Yeah, it just seems like he's incompetent.
Maybe he just doesn't have a good memory for every single kid in the world.
I thought he had a list.
He's supposed to. He's supposed to check it twice, because checking it once wasn't enough.
Shouldn't he move that list to a database or something? And then
He should. Well, it doesn't say exactly what form the list is in. So it could be in a database.
True. All right. Well, this brings us to the issue of elves.
Yeah.
There's no nice way to say this. Well, we'll just come out with it. They're slave labor.
Yeah.
This actually was pointed out very well in the epic rap battles of history.
Yeah.
When Santa Claus and Moses met in a rap battle.
Right. Just take a minute to process that.
Pause it here. Go listen to it if you want. I recommend it. It's pretty. Snoop Dogg was in it.
Yeah. All right.
Just saying, Snoop Dogg was in it.
Yeah.
There's reasons. You might want to check it out. Mm-hmm. Not much of a rap fan, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, Moses pointed that out. And Santa rebutted saying they're not slaves, they're magical workers.
Yeah. Nah.
Not feeling that one, dude.
They're a different race than you.
They're sentient.
They're sentient, yes. They have to live on the premises. They have to dress alike. And they work for food. And they have to be happy while they're working.
Yeah.
And in the animated series, if you wanted to be something else other than a toy maker, you couldn't do it.
Which really is stupid, because elves need dentists too.
Exactly.
I mean, stop and think about this for a second. If an elf has a toothache, where's he going to get it addressed? He's at the North Cocking Pole.
Yes, and they're eating candy all the time, because they don't even get paid in, like, real food.
Yeah.
It's sugar.
I mean, I get they're magical beings and whatever, but come on, man. They need
so
medical
is
care
Santa,
too.
Supposedly.
Yeah, it didn't help him lose the weight.
No. You know, he would have to... Oh, gosh, I saw that statistic earlier. It was something like 5,500 cookies per minute is how much he would have to eat if he ate all the cookies.
Yeah, basically Santa for Christmas night is opening his mouth to the outport of the Oreo factory.
Yeah, exactly.
24 hours straight.
Anyway, back to the elves.
Thing,
yes.
Now, I've never gotten, and every Christmas special has always painted the elves' plight as not good.
Right.
Like, at best, they're like businessmen helping the enterprise.
Yeah.
And at worst, they're actively miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not happy.
No.
They don't want to be there making toys for kids. And they don't get toys for themselves.
No. And the defense of their magical workers always seemed hollow to me. I don't know.
Yeah, and they only get one night a year off. Christmas Eve. Then they have to get right back at it. Because you gotta build a lot of crap for the next year.
What the hell are they making those nights when they kick back up on December 25th?
They're probably sleeping.
No, but what are they making when they start back up?
Oh.
Like, kids don't say what they want for Christmas until usually November.
Yeah.
What are they making? I mean, Santa's forcing them to work all year.
Well, somebody's always going to want a toy truck or car or plane or, toddler stuff. Legos, blocks. There are some things that somebody's going to want somewhere.
Yeah, but, I mean, new iPhone ain't even announced for another few months, and they can't get on making those yet.
No, they cannot. Well, they can probably make some of the components if they're going to be, the same ones.
Little Bilbo, why are you not making touchscreens? We know the little kids are going to want their tablets.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Enough of those elves. What about the elf on the shelf?
Elf on the Shelf is horrible.
It is.
We actually touched on him last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's basically a spy that's in your house that causes mischief. So they send the elf that is going to cause trouble in your home to your house to spy on your kid.
So they don't get in trouble.
Yes.
You remember the movie, this is an 80s thing to throw out, Little Monsters?
Yes.
With Fred Savage?
Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah.
He's a little bastard who sneaks in your house, causes mischief, gets you in trouble for it, theoretically.
Yeah.
And you still have to be a good boy.
Yeah.
The only difference was this one's narking on Santa, holding on to Santa, too.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Exactly.
All right. The next point, I really like this one. If Santa knows and sees what's going on to all the children,
yeah,
then theoretically this is also true of those under his care, correct?
Yes.
Which means he knew the other reindeer were being dicks to Rudolph.
Yeah. Well, and in the cartoon...
He encouraged it.
He encouraged it and didn't like Rudolph himself. He was just an outright bully.
And here's the thing. Before you go, well, that's just one cartoon, let me remind you that the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was written as a jingle for a department store, and the animated special we all know and love was the official show for it.
Right.
It is canon to Rudolph.
Yes.
And yes. Santa was a total dick.
It was. It got so bad that he and the other people who were outcast on the Santa Island, including the dentist, left the village.
That's just it. They would rather take their chances in the cold, frozen nothingness of the Arctic.
That nobody's ever seen outside of their, in their sphere, nobody's seen what lies beyond
They don't know where they're going. World. They don't know where they're getting food. They don't know what they're going to find. They don't know where anything is.
Nope.
They're just heading south, and guess what? All directions are south.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of what happens when you get to the North Pole.
It is.
Yeah, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
And now the really messed up thing, and I learned this earlier this year, was that in the original cut of it,
right,
Rudolph goes to the island of misfit toys, says, "I'm going to help you, don't worry," and then naffs off and never returns.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes Rudolph a dick, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they rewrote that.
And it got such an outcry that they rewrote it so that he goes and rescues the toy and gives them loving homes and all that. But they still didn't fix Santa being a dick.
Well, he did not. But the thing is that if there is an island of misfit toys, that means that if you are different, then you just get kicked off the North Pole, and sent to an island to starve or fend for yourself or whatever.
Did toys starve? I don't know.
I don't know. They were talking and stuff.
Fair. Yeah. But anyways, go back and rewatch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer if you haven't seen it in a minute, and watch it for Santa's behavior specifically.
Yeah.
He's a total tool through it all.
Yeah.
And the only time he turns to Rudolph and is kind to him is when he needs Rudolph's help.
Yes, exactly.
What a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And the other thing is, if he is watching all the kids at all times, then he knows which ones are bullies.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything about that either, is he?
Nope. He's not stopping it. The worst he might do is withhold a toy.
Yeah. Or if the bully says, "Oh, I'm going to be good for November through December and not do anything bad," then, he still gets toys.
Yeah.
Or he or she.
Yeah.
He in the royal sense. He, she, they. Yeah.
Then there's the obvious problems, like Santa will not bring you anything if you're the wrong religion or if you're too poor.
Yeah.
And regardless of how nice or naughty you were, that's just...
Right.
No luck for you, kid.
Right. Well, and see, here's the thing, is that if you're poor, and I'm going to take this to the real world for a second, because I grew up not having a lot. And growing up that way, I realized that once it was revealed that Santa wasn't real for reals, then that meant that I knew that my parents were spending more money than they should have in order to get gifts. So if poor parents are taking out loans and things to get kids gifts instead of buying foods and clothes and necessities, that's a problem. That's a problem with the state of mind of Santa and Christmas.
And Christmas in general, I would argue. On that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have a real problem with that idea.
you know, and this is a big part of why we've known each other for 18 years now.
Yeah.
We've never really done much of a gift exchange.
No.
The few times we've had, it's been super low budget and kind of deliberately, like the night before, we would show up at Walmart or something.
Yeah.
With like a $20 budget or whatever.
Yeah.
And the main thing was just to see what the other person got that made you think of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It
exactly.
wasn't so much about getting the perfect gift or whatever. It was just, this spoke to me, this said Crystal, I bought it for her.
Yes.
It was that.
Yes, exactly.
And that was romantic, it was cheap, and it was actually kind of fun. You go there, you go to Walmart on a quieter night, you spend an hour or two, set a time deadline,
right,
and a budget deadline, and you can get multiple things. But yeah, and it was a lot of fun, and that's how we started it as broke-ass college students when we met.
Right.
And we've just never really jumped whole hog into gift-giving since.
No.
And part of the reason is, if we have the money to do gifts, we have other things we'd rather do with it.
Well, it's that and that, you know, if we see something we want to buy for the other person, we just get it during the year.
Yeah.
Because...
Or for ourselves, for that matter.
Exactly. I mean, if I see something I want, I buy it for myself because...
If we can afford it, we buy it. If we can't afford it, we're not going to make someone else buy it for us.
Exactly. That's just greedy.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Santa.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of this issue, though, Santa does take credit for parents' work and gifts.
Yes, he does.
There's no two ways around that. Because even when families separate out gifts from parents and gifts from Santas,
right,
like my family did.
Yeah, mine did too.
Everyone inevitably says, Santa brought me, and here's the list of crap.
Yeah.
And that list gets lost.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that, but lots of times Santa is the one who brings the biggest, bestest gifts, you know. So the thing that you wanted the most throughout the year is from Santa. It's not from your parents who, you know, worked hard to buy you all this stuff. Because it's not free for them.
No. And then there's demand of treats.
Yeah.
Which we talked about how much he would have to consume and how much of a glutton he must be.
Right.
But the demand of treats is really... Now, at least I agree and respect Irish Santa who gets a pint of Guinness in most houses.
Yeah.
That I understand, and I think I'm on Santa's side here.
Right.
If I have to squeeze down your chin, there better fucking be a pint of Guinness waiting for me at the bottom of...
Yeah.
Just telling you. But yeah, so it's one of those things that's always annoyed me too. It's like, I thought he was just doing it out of the goodness of his heart, but no, he wants his cookies.
Yeah, and basically it can teach gluttony because you know he's going to go and all night long eat cookies and milk all over the world because that's what you do. And even though we didn't ask him to bring stuff, we owe it to him in order to do that.
And then there's the issue of his corporate sponsorships.
Yeah.
This bothers me. Because here's the thing. I know, because I work in this area of law, or at least an area adjacent to it, that as a person, as a public person, he still has a right to control his image and prevent it being used for endorsements he doesn't consent to.
Right.
I see Santa's mug absolutely everywhere.
Oh yeah, he's making millions off of these deals.
He better be making a lot off of it.
Yeah.
He is getting loaded. Because here's the thing, we're not here to like completely trash, you know, and spread lies about Santa. There's that rumor going around that he was created by the current image was created by Coca-Cola and they own the copyright. That is not true. What we think of as the modern image of Santa, the red suit, the big belly, the big beard, that came from a visit from St. Nicholas, a poem that's better known today as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas or The Night Before Christmas. And it was written by the poet, I'm trying to remember who, Henry Livingston Jr. wrote it. I had to look up who wrote it. But yeah, at least that's who they now believe wrote it. The authorship seems to have some dispute.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's who they seem to believe wrote it now. That actually created it back in the 1820s.
Yeah.
So it was way before Coca-Cola, way before any of that shit. we had the modern image of Santa. Mm-hmm. So, can't blame Coke for that one. But I sure as hell hope Coke's cutting him a hell of a check for him appearing on all those fucking cans.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because if we're assuming Santa's real, his right to publicity is worth a lot.
Yeah,
and it's being very heavily exploited. This time of year, I can't see a car commercial without Santa.
No.
I mean, it's in the Walmart commercials. He's making appearances everywhere. Mm-hmm. And God help me, I mean, he probably has a trademark on the red suit for the purpose of gift delivery. I mean, mm-hmm. just think about the intellectual property this man owns around his image.
Yeah. That's a lot.
This guy is, gotta be loaded. I'm pretty sure he can just now buy the goddamn toys outright. Mm-hmm. What he's making. He doesn't need the elves anymore.
He just wants them.
He just wants them around, and he doesn't need them anymore. And then, frankly, he's just a corporate shell and corporate whore. Like, to the extreme. Yeah. I'm all about making you money, man. Don't get me wrong. But there comes a point where it's just like, really? You're working all the car companies at the same time?
Yeah.
And all the cell phone providers? There comes a point where you just kind of have to step back and go, really, Santa?
Yeah.
You're not staying loyal to anyone?
Yeah, and you're helping peddle, sweet drinks that are full of sugar and stuff to kids.
Yeah.
So, good going. Because it's not grown-ups who love and cherish Santa. It's kids. So
I'm sure there are some, and
yeah,
they have their own issues.
Yeah, I don't know any, but I don't know. I don't associate with many people who love Christmas that much.
Yeah.
I saw a pattern yesterday for a blanket that would be great for anyone who loves Christmas that I can make really easy, but I don't know anybody. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's really cute.
Well, I mean, and as we've discussed in years gone by, and when we've done these shows before, Christmas tries to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas actually has waged a war of violence against you. So
yes.
It doesn't come completely out of left field.
No. Yeah, and obviously we are focusing on the U.S. Santa in this. I guess we should have said that at the beginning, but we didn't.
Yeah,
so there.
But there you go. Put it here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I mean, the thing about the U.S. Santa, the way the U.S. Santa has sort of played out over the years is that it's gone from being this image of a nice old man who brings gifts to good children to being, much like the holiday itself, very, 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 very commercialized.
Yeah, very commercial, very much a give me everything. Give me all the things.
Yeah. And then and whenever you do that, you kind of invite the uncomfortable questions that we've been asking this episode.
Right.
It's like, is this really the best use of Santa's powers? No.
No.
No, not at all. This is actually a very creepy and uncomfortable use because he's not just, this guy that brings gifts to kids. He's now this corporate person.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Who's working for companies. And, what if he sponsors those gifts that he's bringing?
What if he's bringing Chinese listening devices? I don't know. Now I'm going into some King of the Hill conspiracy theories, but...
Yeah, it's just... I've never understood the concept of Santa.
No. I mean, I get why parents do it with their kids, why a lot of parents, increase, and actually one of the things I did read a study on was that fewer and fewer parents are doing, it's still a majority.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a thing that's been waning a lot because parents aren't comfortable lying to their young children.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is simply it leads to awkward conversations later.
Yeah. Well, and, my cousin, whenever she had a kid, her first one, they only do one gift from Santa, and it's not the biggest one. And she wanted to do that so that he could go whenever he would have an answer for
What
whatever.
did Santa bring you?
Exactly. What did Santa bring you? He would have an answer. But then all of the big stuff, she would get credit for. Which is what she wanted. I mean, those were her words, which makes more sense.
Though.
No.
That's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get wanting to keep the magic of Christmas and the magic of the holidays and all that.
Right.
But honestly, I mean, what is the magic? Isn't it the part where we come together, we stop bickering and fighting for a bit, we sip some eggnog, we tell stories, we laugh.
Yeah.
And we enjoy, Christmas together. Isn't that the goddamn magic?
It is.
Not that a fat man in a sleigh brings a bunch of presents.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's actually been studied. There have been studies that say the magic of Christmas is the kind of rituals. You set up family rituals for yourself. And as long as you keep doing those, kids will still have magic at Christmas.
Yeah.
And you can carry that into adulthood. But, this made-up concept of some magical being bringing all of the Christmas cheer is bullshit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I like, for me, all the best actual Christmas memories, yeah, they might have involved gifts that were brought by Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But the memories themselves are made by the family.
Yeah, exactly.
By opening them with my family, by spending time with my family.
Yeah.
The gifts were there, they were a part of it, don't get me wrong, but it's the family that makes the magic, and it's the family that, spells it. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's true.
At the end of the day, if Santa did not have the PR team he clearly has, he would be a villain in any other universe.
Yeah.
Gifts be damned.
Yeah.
People would see through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that maybe we need to rethink our relationship with Santa as in general, more broadly. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this is in jest, but it makes a point.
Yeah, and there's actually been a lot of psychiatrists recently pushing for this because of our last point, is that it sets up a position where parents are lying for multiple years to their kids.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that they've been lying for multiple years in a very elaborate lie. It's not, something small. This is an elaborate lie parents tell their kids. And it's damaging because at that age, kids think that grown-ups tell the truth.
Yeah.
And then they find out they've been lying the entire time. What else have they been lying about? So then you lose some of that trust that you could have had with your kid.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the problems, that you're not just losing the magic of Christmas at that point.
Right.
You're losing the magic of
a piece of your relationship.
Of the trust that children have in adults.
Yeah, it's one of the first deaths of childhood.
Yeah. Well, this has been a happy episode.
Yeah.
We'll just end it there before like all of our listenership jumps off a bridge or something, because woo!
Oh, what? You don't want to talk about the tooth fairy giving kids the idea they can sell pieces of their body for money?
Isn't that also the plot of Repo the Genetic Opera?
Yes. Well, kind of, but yes.
Close enough for our purposes.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, everyone, thank you very much.
We really are, Rudy.
If you're not huddled in a corner crying yourself to sleep, did not intend it to get so dark so quickly there.
Yeah, sorry.
But it was a risk when I mentioned Percocet.
Yeah.
And the reason we had the conversation. But anyways, thank you very much for spending the past hour with us. This has been Haunt Weekly, episode 159. We are at hauntweekly.com. Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. Please do like and follow us there. tinyurl.com/Haunt Weekly is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to us there. We're also on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever finer podcasts are distributed. Until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this has been a very depressing episode of Haunt Weekly. And We got to do another comedy episode now, Crystal. This one got
instead of the news, because the news is gonna probably leave people crying too.
So yeah, we'll pick us something for next week. We'll see you guys then.
And be sure to buy those tickets for LostSoulChicago.com.
Yeah, if you're not too depressed.
Well, just go into it with the idea that Santa really is a bad guy, and that's just him being his real self.
Well, we'll see you guys next time.